adaptive kayak paddle. Before we get into the process of making this adaptive gear, let's meet the team.
Hi, I'm Elliotte.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Alyssa.
And we're part of the Galena STEM program. We hope you like our presentation.
Our presentation is comprised of 4 parts: our data and problem statement, designing and testing the prototype, and finally our analysis. So let's dive in and look at our data and our problem statement.
This graph shows the age-adjusted death rate due to cardiovascular disease. As you can see from the graph, stroke deaths are on a rise in Washoe County. Additionally, when comparing Washoe County to the rest of the U.S., we have an increased rate of people dying from strokes. From 39 out of 100,000 people in Washoe County to 36.8 people in all of Nevada to 37.2 out of 100,000 people in the whole United States. This graph shows the number of adults who have experienced a stroke in Reno. Reno has had an increase going from 2015 to 2016 and has remained steady at a constant 2.9% since 2018. When looking at Nevada tomorrow, we learned that one of the key ways to reduce the likelihood of strokes are to reduce one's blood pressure by 12 to 13 points. This can be done by taking pills, changing your eating habits, or increasing the amount you exercise.
Strokes aren't just a problem in Reno. Every year, more than 795,000 people in the United States have a stroke. It costs the U.S. nearly $46 billion between 2014 and 2015 to care for stroke patients. Due to this, we wanted to gain an in-depth understanding of strokes. 4 common side effects our group wanted to focus on were paralysis, lack of grip strength, overall weakness, and fatigue. Strokes are also the leading cause of disabilities, and increased research proves strokes are a chronic disease, not a neurological incident. More studies are beginning to prove recreational therapy can help people recover from both physical and emotional trauma.
For this project, we worked with the Department of Veterans Affairs, also called the VA, to create something that would allow for the veterans that have suffered paralysis from a stroke, an upper limb amputation, or any other injury to enjoy the recreational water activities that are so popular here in Reno due to our proximity to some gorgeous lakes and rivers. They provide us with several professional perspectives on our design to ensure that we would meet the needs of the veterans that we are looking to help. Our problem statement for this project, as shown here, was designed to best help people that have suffered strokes or similar injuries regain their ability to perform recreational activities that will not only support their recovery, but also improve their quality of life.
Now it's time to learn about the process behind designing our prototype.
The closest thing that we found to a previous solution is this device that is designed just to help support the weight of the paddle. It has a very limited range of motion and would not be useful to a person that has little mobility in one or both sides of their body. It also does not offer the assistance in the force that it takes to move the kayak that our product does. This previous solution was simply not designed for the same purpose that ours was, even if they do share an element or two. Our design specifications, as pictured here, focus primarily on the safety of the user, as well as how easy the product is to attach and use. We determined that this design was too similar to a prosthetic and would not be able to help our intended audience. The next design focused too much on grip strength, and although this is an issue, we felt that this specific concept did not meet our criteria specifically, and another group in our class is focusing on this. The chair was a solution we were planning on using, but not many kayaks have pre-existing chairs. Also, it would need to be paired with another device to be effective. Our timeline did not allow for us to make multiple iterations of 2 devices, so we chose not to use this design. The crank, although an interesting concept, would prove difficult to attach to the kayak without given materials. We would be unable to take it on the water due to its lack of durability and the weight of the device impacting the movement of the kayak. This was the design that we selected because it would be easy to use since it takes weight off of the user and helps to provide the necessary force and movement on the affected side of the body. It would be waterproof, increases mobility, and it does not require an emergency release since it was on the kayak and not the person. When comparing all the devices, the design using a support beam and ball joints shown previously proved to meet all the design specifications. These final sketches show the ball joint and the support mechanism in more detail, as well as the removable attachment piece that will allow the kayak to be used with the device but also as a normal kayak. Now, let's take a look at the process of bringing these sketches to life.
Now it is time to test our prototype. Our first test consisted of a side-by-side comparison of us kayaking with the prototype and us kayaking without the prototype, and as you can see, the range of motions were very similar. However, there are many debates amongst our group on whether we wanted to limit the range of motion of our prototype to match that of a normal kayaking stroke. In this data table, you can see the modified range of motion of our new prototype. The design in place ended up limiting the lateral range of motion by 20 degrees, which was not our desired outcome, so we went back to the original concept. In this next data table, you can see the results of our adjustability to height test. We sampled students from our class who were of various heights and looked to see if our prototype could be adjusted to the optimal height for them to kayak at. This test was a success. Finally, we wanted to see if the bungee cords we were using for the resistance aspect of our prototype could supply various amounts of resistance. And all the bungee cords did. For our final test, we took our prototype out onto the water, and as you can see, it was pretty successful. Now it is time to analyze our prototype. In order to complete this project, we had to use various skills. Skills ranged from that of problem solving to 3D modeling and even collaboration. All these skills proved vital in the success of our project. However, we're still aware that our prototype needs plenty of improvements. Our goals for the future of our project include materials and production. We want to find a machining company that will create a product with a more durable material, like that of a thin aluminum. And finally, we want the public to use our project. We want our product to be implemented by physical therapists and stroke patients to recover from strokes. Ideally, it'd be lining the shelves of popular retailers. Thank you so much for watching our presentation, and a special thanks to Canvas, which made this presentation possible.